Vice President Villegas, we have 2 speakers under general public comment today, 1 speaker under the 4 agenda items, and no neighborhood council commentary.
Okay, thank you for that. Welcome everyone to the regularly scheduled board meeting for Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. And we have a short agenda, and we have a nice presentation today for someone who's given the city 23 years of service. Why don't we get started then? Why don't we do general public comment, and then we'll close that after, and we'll just do approval of the minutes, and then we'll get to the presentation.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and start with general public comment, and we may, okay, Audit LA, our caller on the line. You can go ahead and you'll have 2 minutes.
Hi, good morning. I know this is public comment and not public conversation, so I know I'm not going to get the answers right now during this time, but I am trying to find out if who I can speak to or email or complain to about coming here for almost 2 months now and not getting any answers or resolutions. Basically, I'll go away. Like I really don't want to come to these meetings anymore. I just want to know this. I just want to know this stuff. Why is there a continuous de facto street vacation for L. Ron Hubbard Way? And how long is it going to continue? Is there any sign of it stopping? And why is it continuing? What is going on behind the scenes? I want to know that. I also want to know why L. Ron Hubbard is barricaded on both ends when the permit that you guys sign off on clearly states there needs to be a 20-foot emergency lane open for vehicles, and it's not. I want answers as to why it's not. Now, if you can show me that it's completely fine, that not one ambulance will ever be slowed down, you know, if there's a trauma, they won't go beyond their golden hour because you can get there quickly, that a ladder truck could get in there quickly. Show me that. Okay, I'll move on. Also show me that that crack in the building is not a danger to anyone inside that building or around it. I'm gone. Show me that, you know, that that there's nothing going on with the illegal or the unpermitted construction, that it's all fine, it's all legit. I'm gone. Like, I don't want to be here wasting my time, which is in a sense because it's just falls on deaf ears. I just want answers. And if I don't get answers, just who do I complain to? Is there, I can't, like, if I want to complain against the cop, I could go to LAPD and they have complaint forms. How do I complain against the permit unit and against Public Works? I mean, do I have to go to a federal, oh, and also the ADA issues. Prove to me that those planters are not an ADA violation. I'm gone, you know?
Okay, our next caller on the line with their hand raised for general public comment is Ramona. Go ahead, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and you'll have 2 minutes.
Good morning, commissioners. This is Ramona, and I've been coming in like Audit LA for several months now, talking about L. Ron Hubbard Way, which has been closed de facto vacation since June 1st. And my issue is the fire lane, which is not within code. It is not being enforced. Again, it's completely a liability to the city, and really am not wanting to have to come to the board. I'm really wanting my mornings back. I agree. The second thing I would like to talk about this morning, I'm going to change it up just a second, is I'm not going to be able to comment on the agenda items. And I've noticed that DBE has fallen off the list, and it was replaced with LBGDQ instead of DBE. There's still disabled vet, but DBE has been replaced. And I'd like to see that back on. Thank you. I yield back my time.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you. All right, why don't we close general public comment and neighborhood council comments?
Quorum establishment, since we took a little break, we have Vice President Villegas, Commissioner Corsand, and Commissioner Reyes all present, and we have a quorum, so we can get back to our agenda items.
Wonderful, thank you, and congratulations again. Such a lovely send-off. We're going to change the order just a little bit. We're going to do our oral report from Street Services. Item number 4, and I think we have a public comment.
Yes, caller on the line, Audit LA. You'll have 2 minutes, and we're on item number 4, taking that first. So if you could go ahead and unmute yourself, you could get started.
Yes, thank you. Well, I'm here twice a week after week after week for this Bureau of Street Services department. I would have loved to have heard the report first, so I could have maybe had my questions answered, or I could ask questions. But in their report, since I don't know what it says, I would like them to please touch on the fact of my concern for the continuous street vacation of L. Ron Hubbard Way. I would like him to report on who is allowing this, why it's being allowed, and what's the reasoning behind it. I would also like them to, since they are also involved, they are also in charge of all the planters all up and down that street, plus Fountain on both sides that are ADA non-compliant, and what they're doing about that, if anything, and if not, why not? So please include that into the report. And also, if they can also, well, I guess the building crack, it wouldn't be them, but this is what I would like to know in the report. That's why, in a way, it's important. It'd be not, for your own sake, for their sake, maybe you should put that first, because then we would know what they're talking about. But in the meantime, I am just asking Bureau of Street Services to please also do a better job at looking internally at their investigators or whoever's doing this to figure out get to the bottom of, is this right for the community? It may be right for the person applying for it, I get that, but is it right for the community? Like, does the community have a right to access that street? Does the ADA community have a right to get on and off of, ramps to get on and off of those streets? Do we have that right? And if so, why are we being deprived? And what are you going to do about it? So, Bureau of Street Services, I don't know who's speaking today. I would really love to hear from the top down.
Thank you, caller.
Mm-hmm.
And before we get started, Mr. Shaw, I think we have a person here for public comment. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Caller Audit LA, we're on item number 1. You will have 2 minutes, and you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you. I do want to start with saying I do appreciate the the Bureau of Engineering. I do not cross over bridges or go through subway tunnels worried that they're going to give way. So they do a great job for our city, and I do salute them. And I also know that the Shea Company, also long history with this city, helping to build our subway system, which I use regularly. I appreciate them. But this is just the concern I want to bring for the people who pay their taxes for these budgets. There's always this pieces of the pie, right? And as we know, like LAPD gets the biggest share, which means everyone else has to divvy up the rest of it. And so we have to be really mindful of budgets, because there's so many times I've called and said, oh, like, why isn't this happening? Or like, why isn't this ADA thing being repaired? Why isn't this being done? Well, it's not in the budget. There's not enough budget money. And so that's why whenever I see asking for more money on something that's already been budgeted, it's a concern to me. And I want to just bring it up. Like, we all have to live within budgets, okay? And I'm not saying that there's never a reason that sometimes you just have to go beyond, because it makes sense and it's needful, especially if it's a security or safety issue. Then that, or something that will help make it last longer and we get a better a return on our investment. I'm not saying necessarily deny it, but I am asking you to be really thorough, and asking the Bureau of Engineering too, to try to know what you need from up front, rather than having to come back and ask for more. And better yet, if you can come under budget and still maintain safety, even better. So it's just about asking, these departments, asking the city to be mindful that it's not an endless budget. It's very limited,
Thank you,
and
caller.
to please be mindful of that.
Thank you.
Caller on the line, we're on item number 2. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, and you will have 2 minutes for your public comment on item 2.
I just want to start by saying, wow, thank you, commissioners. I'm impressed that you actually took the time and, got that clarity, got more information for the public, asked tough questions, put the little bit of the pressure on to do better, got a commitment, stuff like that. That's what we want to see. That's what I mean. I am excited to see that. It just seems like the commission now is getting into, sorry, better leadership, not just, okay, here we go, and we're going to rubber stamp everything. So I thank you, Commissioner Villegas, and the other, Corson and Reyes. Thank you. But on this issue, because I know you guys are really, you want us to stick to topic, I also have those same concerns. And now that we, about this, especially about the procurement concerns, if that is a part of this issue, I don't see why the public has to be punished, financially speaking, for other entities outside of the city that can't do their job. If they can't provide what's needed under contract, they're contracted, they're paid to get this done, to supply the supplies. Why do we get punished? Why don't they get punished? And maybe it's just that I am not an engineer, and I'm not a commissioner. I don't have all the answers, but I do have the questions and the concerns. So if it can make clarity, that'd be great. I love that you just did that for the last one. Thank you. But I want to know why we're punished, because I remember the other week there was a case where they did something wrong. They hired somebody that wasn't a legit, sanctioned by the city, and there was a fine, a $9,000 something fine, and then it was removed. So, I mean, is there any kind of process that puts actual accountability on the procurement, the people who are
Thank you,
supposed to be
caller. That's
supplying
2
us?
minutes.
Okay. Thank you for your public comment. Then this brings us to item number 3. And we also have a public comment on this one? Yeah.
Public commenter on the line, Audit LA. We are on item number 3. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, and you will have 2 minutes for this item.
Yes, thank you. I do need to start with thanking Commissioner Reyes, wow, for the accountability and that you are trying to do with this department. I appreciate that. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you in this moment. But this, because I know we're going to stay on topic, I kind of wish that they went first. No, I definitely wish they went first, because maybe they would have answered my questions. I mean, to me, it seems like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. I guess it's a subscription that renews, that they need this. It makes sense that they would need this. Like I said, I'm not educated to the point like engineers and all this stuff. But it looks to me it's absolutely needed. My question is, which I would, thought maybe would have been answered in their presentation, is why does it need to be paid in advance? Is there a financial benefit to us? Is it just, that they want to get in on this budget? Is it that they want to train on, like, I would just really like to understand more why we're asking for advance payments. And that's just really my question here. I don't think it's like a bad thing that they're necessarily asking. I would just like to understand it. So maybe if the presenter could just help me as the public understand why, because it's going to cost more money in the current budget. And I'm very budget minded. And I also too, and paying the bills on time, so I get that part of it. So if that's it, we just want to make sure we're paying our bills on time, then for sure. I would just like clarity though. And also for asking for bills on time. If we are fined, then it's okay to fine others too. Like when they make a breach, because if we're not forgiven our fines, we don't have to let everyone, get out of their fines, because that helps bring money back into the coffers to pay for something like this agenda item. And with that, I thank you, and I wish the whole entire commission and all the, everyone presenting a very wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you. All right.